Hi, Taurus, and welcome to your Love Story Tarot reading for November 2019. I'm going to do this reading a little bit different because we have Venus moving into Sagittarius, which is all about the soul. Sagittarius is a very spiritual sign, and so in November we are we're concerned with and focused on those soul connections. And Mercury is going retrograde in Scorpios, so that really changes the energy. A big time review, things from the past returning back in. So I'm going to do this love story a little bit different just because of the astrology. So Taurus, I'm going to pull some cards for one energy over here and then some cards for another energy over here. This could be your energy and the energy of who you are involved with or thinking about, or this could be two different scenarios with two different situations in your life and how you're feeling and perceiving, or how these two different situations in your life are feeling and perceiving about you. So, you know, apply this how it resonates most for you. But, you know, this is the last Mercury retrograde of the year, and it's in Scorpio. It's a powerful one. Let's see how November is going to treat you guys. Mixed emotions. So somebody is feeling a little confused. And we have magic moment, and somebody is feeling quite magical. So, you know, with these first two cards coming out, we're going to pull more, Taurus, but I see a lot of emotions here. So much so that one person feels like up in the clouds and the other person feels a little bit overwhelmed about it. Okay, it's like a bit intense, it's a bit deep for them. And you know, if you are somebody who is very emotionally sensitive, super empathetic, the way that you respond to your emotional triggers, the way that you handle other people is very, very different than somebody who is not that sensitive or empathetic in general. They can handle things in a much more detached capacity. So it may leave you feeling, you know, like kind of left in the cold, like they're distant, they're this, they're that. And just recognize that depending on how emotionally sensitive you are or aren't has a lot to do with how you handle and respond to other people. So generalizing anybody or anybody's behavior is really, really hard because, again, how in tune you are with your emotional body or not really dictates how you handle things. Two people who could be madly in love, one person could get incredibly spooked by that. They're not ready for all of that, so they flee, whereas the other person is like, oh my God, I've waited all my life. Let me jump in and dive in. Doesn't mean the love wasn't as deep in both situations, okay? It's just where somebody's at on their journey, how connected they are into their emotional body is how they're going to act and respond and handle things. So, don't automatically assume somebody doesn't care about you to the same degree because they're handling the relationship differently than you do, okay? Big message that came through with those first two cards. There's a lot of emotions. I do feel there's a mutual attraction going on here, whether we're in a committed relationship or this is a new connection coming in, or, you know, maybe there's a reconciliation that's trying to come into your life and, you know, you are feeling mixed about it, or you know, the person that you're reconciling with is feeling mixed about it just based on what's happened in the past. You know, I see a lot of magic here, a lot of mutual emotion and connection, but also a lot of fear around things. Like, I'm just not sure. This is general, so this fear, you know, it represents a lot of different things, right? So let's pull a couple more cards and dig a little deeper. Six of Wands, Ace of Cups. Okay, so with this Ace coming out in this position with Magic Moment, this side is like, can I trust this? Like, are you really going to change? Are you really interested in being in this connection, in this relationship? Are you going to step it up, you know? And those of you in committed relationships, it's, you know, it's not like everything's a freaking cake, right? You have problems and issues, and it's almost as though one person is kind of ready, like I feel more in the past was like kind of ready to throw in the towel, or is this worth it? Is this where I belong? Because the other person wasn't as like participating, wasn't giving as much energy emotionally, maybe financially, like somehow, some way, there was like this imbalance taking place. And now the one that was lacking, it's like they're really trying to step it up. Okay, so if we're in a, you know, existing relationship, somebody's really trying to step it up and be a much better partner, which causes the other one to really question, is this real? Is this just temporary? Is this going to last? You know, can I trust this? Because it's like you're getting, over here is getting showered with a lot of attention, love, and affection. But is this real, or am I ready for this? Can I trust this? And over here, it's like, boom, I'm just up in the stars thinking about you. So Taurus, this could be you, or this could be you. You know, decide which really resonates and fits. If this is a new connection coming in, again, it's like somebody's feeling a little bit spooked at, you know, the intensity of the connection, the magic that exists between the two of you, and how close you guys are growing, how quickly. If this is a reconciliation, I mean, that speaks for itself. Oh, you have all this love for me now, but is it just going to fade away like it did last time? Like, what's your angle? What's your ulterior motive? So there's some distrust, you know, just depending on what your situation personally is. So let's pull some more cards, Taurus. Awakening emotions. Yes, that is somebody stepping it up. Or if this is new, it's like somebody is like, wow, I'm really feeling you, and that super freaks me out. Or if this is a reconciliation, you know, I don't feel like they're full of crap, or that this is a short-term change in somebody. There's a big thing happening here with all this astrology. You know, Venus moving into Sagittarius gets us in tune with our core, like deep down, what truly matters to us. And, you know, Mercury retrograde is going to have us reassessing past relationships, what we've been going through, what we need to change, what we need to transform, what we need to let go of. And somebody is just waking up, whether they are in an existing connection, it's a reconcile. It's like, I'm woke, I see, I understand, I want to do better, I want to be a better partner, a better person to you. So this is beautiful, Taurus. I do like this. Dream rendezvous. We are dreaming about each other. Passionate intimacy. Lasting reconnection. Look at that. Look at that, Taurus. Whether you are in a committed relationship currently, this says to me, those changes, you know, the person who's stepping up, it's long term. Boom. Here it is. Those of you who are coming back together in a reconciliation, it's meant to be, okay? You guys are meant to come back together at this point in time because somebody finally woke up. If this is a new connection coming in, I feel like it's a long term. It's a long term love here, and that's why it's a little spooky for one of you. Enchanting kiss. Look at that. Yeah, Taurus, this is a beautiful spread of cards right here. Couples overcoming challenges, difficulties. Somebody is really stepping up and taking ownership, being romantic, being sweet, being kind. And it causes the other person to question that a little bit. You know, is this going to really last? Are you just saying what you think I need to hear right now? No, Taurus, it is long lasting, whether we're committed or they're returning back into your life. If they woke, okay? They awakening emotions. It's just a natural part of their own evolution, the journey on their life path, and they're waking up to who and what they are, and they can see how they need to be better. And that could also be you, Taurus. This is a general reading, but it's like, I see my error, I see my mistake, let me do better, give me another shot. And they mean it. They 100% mean it. Now, those of you where this is a new connection coming into your life, or just recently came into your life, it's a little intense for one of you, okay? One of you is like, has really stirred the other, has awakened the other's heart space, which may have been asleep for a while, and it's a little bit scary. But don't worry about that. Like, you guys are meant to have a long term, like the kiss. What I see here is your emotion connection is there. The mental connection is there. The physical connection is there. And the soul connection is there, okay? It's there. So let's pull some tarot. King of Cups, Lovers, Queen of Swords, Five of Pentacles, and the Hermit. Okay, so as far as other people, we could have a Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces, a Gemini, or a Gemini, Libra, Aquarius, or a potential Virgo coming through. Now, Taurus, with these cards coming out, you only have one minor arcana here, and that this Five of Pentacles in that position is feeling guilty, you know, feeling shameful, taking ownership of behavior, you know, really becoming quite aware of oneself. So whoever, like, you know, screwed things up or really needed to step things up, whether we're together or we broke up and now we're going to reconcile, like, the person who needed to step up is totally doing it, like 100%. There's been a lot going on inside of them emotionally and in their soul, all right, that they don't talk about. That's not easy and obvious. I mean, look at this. We have both court cards. You know, here's the couple with their backs to us instead of being open and straightforward. No, we've been keeping a lot to ourselves and not fully expressing it for whatever reason. And now it's like, through this solo journey of keeping so much in, you know, it's time to express. Like, it's time to connect. It's time to communicate. Whoever was really, you know, slacking is now ready to step up because they've realized there's no other person who loves me better or who's going to put up with me like Taurus does. Or Taurus, you have come to that realization about your current partner or somebody that you are reconciling with, okay? And then those of you in these new connections, just remember, somebody's a little spooked. We're not talking about it. Maybe in November, don't push the subject. When it's time, you guys will talk about it and all will be well. Okay, so I'm going to pull a few cards for heart and soul messages. And these are the things that are not being said to you by somebody else. Okay, that one had to come out. So I'm going to pull 5. All 5 could speak to you, or just maybe 1 or 2. I just want to pull 5 since this is a general reading. Okay, so the one that jumped out is heart. I am not over you, not even close. And this really speaks to me about, you know, those of you in connections, current committed relationships, or those of you who are separated and are going to come back together in a reconciliation. It's like you're not over them, they're not over you. They're really awakening to what they need to change, what they did wrong. Those of you in these new connections, again, if somebody's a little afraid and spooked and they're kind of backing off, they can't forget you. Like, they'll be right back. Don't even worry about it. What's meant to be is meant to be. Now we have a soul message. Your truth was more than I could handle. I mean, that speaks volumes right there, right? Especially in these new connections. It's, I don't know, I just feel a lot of fear around it. And those of you who broke up, I feel you really put your foot down and spoke your truth and said, hey, it's either this or it's nothing. And they chose nothing. And now here they're back. Okay, you were right. And at the time I wasn't ready, but I'm ready now. And also those of you in committed relationships, I feel the same thing. Like, you could have been feeling like you just speak to deaf ears. It's because they weren't ready, but now they are. Next is a heart message. I hope the universe reunites us again one day. Okay, so Taurus, you know, there is an ex coming through really strongly for some Tauruses out there. And it's like once they have their crap together, that's when they're ready. And, you know, just because this is coming through so strongly, I do feel that you will get back together before the end of the year. And if you don't, then this message is not for you. I feel two souls. It's like you just gravitate towards each other and you can't, like, break free. Next is their tribe, which is, you know, friends and family around this person coming through in your reading. And it says, we have your back and we are sorry for what you are going through. So those of you, you know, and this could be a standalone message, you know, sometimes family seems like they pick sides, like when we have a big breakup and separation, right? In your ex-partner's family, like, it's, you got to have distance. It doesn't always work that way, but you know, whatever's happened here, Taurus, their friends and family actually have your back and are like, hey, we don't think what that person, what they're doing or what they said is right. Like, we don't support it. We love them unconditionally. That's our family member, but we don't support what they're doing to you or what they said to you. Or, you know, Taurus, this could go the other way where, you know, it's like your friends and family are missing somebody and don't necessarily agree with the choices that you made. You know, this is general, so play it how it fits. But just know that for those of you who are really close to the family and you disconnected, you know, they still have your back. And just because they're not reaching out, it does not mean they don't think that you were right or what's happening isn't horrible and wrong and that is unfair. Don't think that at all, because that's exactly what this says. Like, we're sorry for how everything is going, you know. And lastly, we have a soul message. Our challenges, our life lessons we signed up for at a soul level. Wow. And Venus is moving into the house of spirit and soul. So Taurus, yeah, a lot of evolution taking place inside of somebody, whether you or your current partner or somebody you are separated from, a lot of soul evolution. And once, you know, the emotions awaken, it's like game over. I want you. I only want you. I will do whatever it takes. And it's long lasting. It's not just like a gimmick or some quick fix. Like, it's a long lasting energy. And lastly, you know, those of you in these newer connections, if you feel it and you're like, why are they distant, and you pull away, it's just because it's a bit overwhelming for them. But man, Taurus, for some of you out there, there is somebody very much missing you. And they just have to come to that point within themselves to awaken and accept responsibility and accountability. And in that space, it's like, that's when you can come back together. All right. So those are your messages, Taurus. I'm wishing you all the best. Take care.